On this episode, we're talking about the future of learning. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of The Vlog. I'll tell you what, the last couple weeks have been not only super fun and exciting for me as I've been able to create new content for this vlog, but I've also had the opportunity to collaborate with a couple groups of close friends on some interest areas that I think are really intersecting my practice as I build it from a consulting standpoint, as well as some of the interests and the passions that my friends have, which I think is such an awesome intersection and a great way to start to cut your teeth in terms of value delivery is really just working with your friends. I mean, it's not only a comfortable space to work in, but it's also a space that allows for a lot of creativity and trust. And that's how I felt over the last couple of weeks as I've been able to take a look at experience design with the Chicago beefsteak, as well as start to understand how our physical space then can pull through great experiences with my friends down at Blackstone Social. So I'll tell you, as I start to go into different avenues with this vlog, one of the things that I'm definitely learning, and I don't have it all figured out, I'm definitely learning as I go, is that not only supporting but collaborating with your friends is such a rewarding process. And so I hope to do more of that over the months and the years. You also saw a clip at the beginning of this episode where I was working with who I think is one of the best visual designers out here on the West Coast. Her name is Carrie Burgin. I'll put her name and link in the notes below. And Carrie's helped me really put together a brand in terms of some of the visual elements, the logo, and the story that I'm going to be pulling through with Thoughtium and the consulting practice. So let's get into it. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the future of learning. I almost want to make this a regular occurrence here in the vlog, is that we take time to stop and really think about what's happening from the outside that we can pull into our day-to-day practice in terms of designing and delivering great learning experiences. And there is a lot happening outside of these walls. And I'll tell you, anytime I get a chance to open a training class and stand in front of a group of either new hires or more tenured sales representatives that are coming in for up training, what is the one common message that I'm giving them? It's to get out of their comfort zones. It's to feel comfortable applying their knowledge and trying new things in this learning environment. And so I think as learning professionals and as practitioners, we have the same responsibility to develop our craft based on challenging ourselves to understand what are the trends. What are the current events that are happening, whether it be from a technology standpoint or a human resources standpoint, that we could be pulling in to our strategy development or our curriculum design to make our learning experiences even more impactful. So the future of learning is going to be a regular segment here. Hopefully it provides you some value in terms of us all learning together around some of these most important topics. One of the trends that I'm super fascinated with, and I think could start to affect, if not maybe disrupt, the way that we design curriculum or put new programs together, is the concept of MOOCs, M-O-O-C-S. It stands for Massively Open Online Courses, or sometimes it's referred to as Massively Open Online Curriculum. And this is a concept that was born in higher education in the late 2000s, around 2008, 2010. You started to see larger academic institutions, particularly Ivy League institutions, get together and start to share their classes, recorded classes, across multiple universities. This was really with a couple objectives. One, it was to broaden the course catalog for these universities so that their students had access to courses and degrees that were not typically offered within given university. And secondly, the university started to understand that they wanted to cross-pollinate or mix up the perspective that they were offering their students, whether that be from within their own institution or bringing the outside in. And so this was really disruptive in that, many institutions are used to delivering a certain set of degrees or a fixed catalog of courses. And they also, take pride in the culture that they've developed that's reflected in that curriculum. But these universities started to see that students everywhere have access to information at all times. And so they have this expectation that they're not only learning within their given degree, but they have access to content and courses that are outside of their given discipline. And so universities really started to see this opportunity, if not, maybe they just didn't have a choice, but to make their course curriculum open source. And so you're starting to see universities share content and broaden their offerings and start to promote that in terms of attracting new students. So how does this outside perspective or this trend that's happening in higher education affect the way that we're thinking about designing curriculum here in corporate learning? Well, in learning and development, you haven't necessarily seen one organization get together with another organization and share their training modules. But at the same time, we have to take note of the expectations of our learners that are coming through in our training programs. And that expectation is that they're not only learning within their given role, but they also have access to content that develops them and makes them better employees, better people outside of their given functional tasks. And so this concept of massively open online courses can really challenge us to think about our course catalogs and our offerings for our corporate learners. Tactically, what does that look like? First, you can essentially open your entire catalog to all employees. I'm starting to see that across different organizations where no matter your role or your function or who you report to, you have access to the entire course catalog in terms of learning from sales to marketing to operations to strategy. That allows people to have access to gain new skills and not necessarily pigeonhole them in a certain role or a certain career. The second thing too is we can start to leverage databases of courses and information that exist outside of the one that we're building within our organization. So we can look at resources like lynda.com or edX is another great resource where there is content that's available, whether that be on soft skills or tactical skills, that we can leverage and pull into our course catalogs to start to expand and cater to that broader appetite that our learners have to learn both in and outside of role. So that's a little bit on massively open online courses. I think MOOCs is a really kind of funny thing to say, but it's a real concept. It's happening in higher education. I think it's going to start to affect the way that we learn here in corporate America. And it's just one of so many components that I think are going to start to shape and affect the future of learning. It's something we should be talking about to really understand how to best design for the learners of the future. That's it for episode 5. Thanks for tuning in. I want to make the future of learning a regular installment here on the vlog. So if you have any ideas or trends that you're paying attention to that you're super excited about, leave them in the comments below. I'd absolutely love to start interacting with some of you guys and really learning together, because that's what this is all about. Have fun, guys, and have a great week.